6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Federal Minister for Planning has vowed to take the China-Pakistan economic corridor to new heights in the coming days. The Federal Minister for Economic Affairs says the national economy has achieved stabilization and now it will move to the phase of growth. The Azad Jammu Kashmir President and the Prime Minister in the talks with an American congressional delegation in Muzaffarabad today urged them to pressurize India to lift its brutal lockdown in occupied Kashmir. The U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations has urged India to end humanitarian crisis and restrictions in occupied Kashmir. The second T20 match between Pakistan and Sri Lanka will be played in Lahore tomorrow. And now the news in detail. The Federal Minister for Planning, Makhdoom Khusro Bakhtiar, has vowed to take the China-Pakistan economic corridor to new heights in the coming days. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad this evening, he dispelled the impression that CPAC projects have hit a snag, as all projects under the corridor are intact and streamlined. He said in the energy sector alone, projects of about 4,300 megawatt are under construction and other projects of 2,500 megawatt are under planning. The Federal Minister for Economic Affairs, Hamad Azhar, says the national economy has achieved stabilization and now it will move to the phase of growth. Addressing a news conference in Lahore today, he said when the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government came into power, it inherited a massive debt and had to fulfill immediate commitments of more than $10 billion in loan repayments and interest. He said the tough economic decisions are showing positive impacts now. Hamad Azhar said foreign exchange reserves are now stable and the rupee value is stabilizing. He said the SARS program launched by PTI government is a major plan for poverty reduction and is a role model for the world to emulate. Hamad Azhar said Sehat Insaf cards are part of the SARS program that will provide health facilities to every deserving family without any discrimination. A government spokesman has categorically dismissed as utter fabrication a report published in a weekly magazine that the special plane given by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of the Brotherly Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to facilitate Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit was called back by him from Canada to New York. The spokesman said it is totally false and absolutely carries no truth whatsoever. He said the report also carries baseless, self-created theory with respect to Prime Minister's meetings with the leaders of Turkey and Malaysia in New York. The spokesman said Pakistan and Saudi Arabian leaderships enjoy most cordial and brotherly relations. Only people with vested interest would come up with such concocted and baseless assertions. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashikawan, says Sehat Insaf Cards facility will be extended to over 15 million people across the country in the next 2 years. Addressing a distribution ceremony of health cards among deserving people in Sialkot today, she said the government has also started health reforms program in the Punjab to facilitate the common people. The President and the Prime Minister of Azad Jammu and Kashmir have urged the United States to play a role in saving the people of Indian-occupied Kashmir from India's repressive, brutal measures. Talking to high-level U.S. congressional delegation comprising Senators Chris Van Hollen, Maggie Hassan, and American Charge d'Affaires Ambassador Paul Jones in Muzaffarabad today, Masood Khan and Farooq Haider Khan said the American administration should pressurize India to resolve the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with the United Nations Security Council resolutions. They thanked the two senators for the visit and appreciated the support for the just cause of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Among other things, they also shared the vision and priorities of the AJK government, which were focused on governance, rule of law, and development. The American senators said they shared the human rights concerns and would continue to urge India to lift the curfew and release all prisoners as a first step. They also expressed their resolve to remain engaged for the resolution of the dispute. The purpose of the visit was to see the ground situation and gauge public sentiments following the 5th August illegal Indian actions in the Indian Jammu and Kashmir. The U.S. Senate Committee on Foreign Relations has urged India to end humanitarian crisis and restrictions, including curbs on communications in occupied Kashmir. According to the Indian newspaper The Hindu, the Senate committee, in its report ahead of the annual Foreign Appropriations Act for 2020, called on the government of India to fully restore telecommunications and internet services, lift curfew, and release individuals. This is Radio Pakistan. In occupied Kashmir, the lockdown continues on the 63rd consecutive day today. All shops, main markets, and educational institutions remained shut, and public transport was off the road in the Kashmir Valley and parts of the Jammu region. In occupied Kashmir, boys aged 14 and 16 years are held under dreaded Public Safety Act and sent to Uttar Pradesh jails. According to Scrollin, an English language Indian website, the occupational authorities are not required to provide grounds for detention for up to 10 days after the prisoner is taken into custody. In London, a candlelight freedom walk was held to express solidarity with the people of occupied Kashmir and to condemn the Indian brutalities in the held territory. The participants included children, men, women, and youth who walked from the Parliament House to the Indian High Commission. A network of 140 national humanitarian organizations has deplored the protracted humanitarian crisis in the Indian-occupied Kashmir due to the prolonged lockdown, urging the world community to intervene instead of being silent spectator. Humanitarian Network, in a press release, said the prolonged lockdown has made the people of the valley extremely vulnerable to different diseases, life-threatening conditions, and other multiple health risks. NHN membership was of the view that food, medicines, health aids, and life support drugs are in short supply or inaccessible to people, hence increasing risks to the human lives. Iran has warned to further reduce its commitments under the nuclear deal if the European parties to the pact do not meet promises to shield its economy from American sanctions. The Iranian state news agency quoted Iran's Atomic Energy Organization spokesman, Behrouz Kamalwandi, as saying that Tehran will go ahead with its plans to decrease its commitments to the nuclear deal if other parties fail to keep their promises. The acting consul general of China in Karachi, Shen Xiaodong, says an iron brother of China, Pakistan, has always been the priority of Chinese diplomacy over 70 years. He was addressing a ceremony in Karachi in connection with celebrations of the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. Shen Xiaodong said Pakistan-China friendship is a model of state-to-state relations with different social systems and different historic background. In the United States, 4 people have been killed in a shooting at a bar in Kansas City. Local police said in a tweet that 5 other people were wounded during the incident. They said the suspect is on the run after the incident. Further details about the motives and whereabouts of the gunman are still unclear. In Afghanistan, 9 people, including 6 insurgents and 3 policemen, were killed as a clash erupted in Kilai Zal district of northern Kunduz province today. Talking to the media in Kabul, the head of the provincial council, Mohammad Yusuf Ayubi, said the clash broke out after a group of Taliban militants attacked the security checkpoints in Aktipa area. Cricket. The second T20 of the 3-match series between Pakistan and Sri Lanka will be played in Lahore tomorrow. The match will start at 1830 hours Pakistan Standard Time. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind, thunderstorm, and snowfall on high mountains is expected at isolated places in Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.